do have one big thing when you ask me what I've been up to lately.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're hinting at this or not, but last March, well, I'll start with T-Bone and I have been working on this technology for about 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
We're scientists.
Is this about the acetate?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I saw some press
So
on that.
this is an idea T-Bone had a long time ago. And so we basically realized that there is the technology out there to coat an acetate disc with something similar to what would be on your iPhone glass to keep it from shattering, make it tough and scratch resistant. Similar technology used on the space station to protect some of the sensitive parts from the sun.
Wow.
It's called a deposition. It's a spray coating that's like, atoms thick, basically.
Okay.
And so he got interested in this idea for sort of like, what could we do with the best sounding analog format there is? And everyone we ever talked to agreed an acetate is it.
But that, just to interject,
Yeah.
acetate degrades
It does.
as you play it.
It does.
Correct?
Right.
Yes.
So again, I mean, we've been doing this a long time, from very primitive stuff, in the beginning to very high tech in the end. So an acetate is made out of nitrocellulose put on a aluminum platter. It's very, very flat and it's very soft. It's maybe like nail polish or something once it dries.
Yeah.
And that gets etched in from a mastering engineer. And it's what's made to go and make molds to press vinyl records. So, and you can listen to them, but they start degrading quite rapidly, and they will continue to degrade and be horrible sounding in not too many plays. But again, T-Bone said this is the best analog format there is. It's better than tape. It's better than vinyl. It's better than anything. So what can we do? So we started poking around, and years later, we actually developed something that seemed to be working. And I did a lot of the testing on these things after we get them coated, listening for sonic quality, where we wanted it to be invisible. And then there was crackle factor, surface noise to deal with. And we started getting this thing really, really dialed in and decided we should make a record, let's do something like this. So last March I was called by T-Bone to go record Bob Dylan. And I said, cool. And so it's a 3-day session. And we did it in a little small area of a big giant warehouse in an undisclosed location. And I did it largely on 2 or 3 microphones, the whole band.
Oh, wow. Old school.
I literally mixed the musicians around the microphone. I was in another little side office room with a pair of headphones and a BCM-10, and the acoustic guitar's not loud enough. I go and shove his chair in, or the electric's too loud. I go and turn the guy's amp down, and so I did it that way. So, needless to say, we recorded 5 songs with Bob, and but then I ended up this 3-day session. I ended up being there for 3 months.
Wow.
Because Bob got this idea to do a video. And so he did a video that took us 3 months to record all the music and shoot it. And so I was there a very, very long time.
Is this an entire record?
It's a whole film. Yeah.
Multiple
Shadow
songs?
Kingdom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ends up being a nightclub performance, basically, in sort of a surreal film noir format, I would say. You can look it up and find it.
Is it coming out? Or
It's out.
It out.
Was initially a pay-per-view. Oh. You could only see it on pay-per-view, but I'm sure someone's leaked it somewhere by now, or maybe you could buy it or something. Okay. But so anyway, the Ionic thing was so important is, we took one song and we started doing different formulations of our technology, different thicknesses, different. We're using different kinds of minerals, sapphire, ruby, graphite, trying all these different formulations. Got something really dialed in, then started going for longevity. And I have a test engineer that we hired to work alongside of me under my direction to do stress testing. And so we have acetates that sound amazing. The coding you can't hear, and we've played them up to like 2,000 times.
Wow.
No wear and tear, no additional noise.
So is this something that could be mass marketed for a reasonable amount of money?
I wouldn't say mass because they are made one at a time by hand, by carving that acetate, and then they all go out to be coated. But it's certainly something that limited release things could be done on. So that's maybe part of the
with
future.
incredible fidelity.
Incredible fidelity, like you can't believe. Yeah, like as good as
And
acetate.
you play it on a phonograph.
Yeah, any record player.
But they have to be cut on a lathe.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why you can't really
Mass
can't be
produce it.
mass-produced.
Yeah, so everyone has to be cut individually.
Like almost like a direct-to-disc type
Yep.
situation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you could put anything on an acetate, and you
Yeah.
could certainly hire a mastering guy or a team of mastering guys. They say, hey, cut 100 of these and we'll coat them and sell them or whatever. I don't know where it's going to go, but we have a company now formed around this that's technology. So the thing we made one of the songs from Bob, and we decided to make a presentation to the public, which we did in L.A. and then in New York. And then I just recently got back from London. I got sent there sort of on my own with my test engineer. T-Bone couldn't go and do the London trip. So, and that required me being at, because we were going to auction this disc off, I was literally set up with my own exhibit in Christies Auction House in the middle of London, and I was a DJ for like 10 days.
And you were playing that.
For like hoity-toity high-end client. Thing is, T-Bone is very art conscious, very benevolent to the music society, and like a lot of the reason behind this is to achieve the ultimate best sound you can out of something, and B to sort of be able to have artists explore this format to revalue their own music, where they've been, predicated through the vendors and the streaming services and the public what they can charge for their music. They can now take something, maybe they want to come to us and make some of these discs or whatever, and they can sort of set their own value on what it's worth and do what they want.
It also sounds like
and it's a new format.
This is something that can endure time. In a preservation situation.
Exactly.
Where in 1,000 years from now,
right.
It's not going to be like a hard drive or something which is tape.
Yeah.
It's not
Pro Tool session. We'll open one of those up in 20 years.
This coating, can it still be used as the mold? Or does that keep it from being usable in that?
It's applied after the acetate's cut.
Yeah.
So after the acetate's cut and degassed, we take it to a barometric chamber. It's sort of like a clean room situation with a pressured chamber.
Yeah.
And the discs get mounted in there in a certain way, and then all the formulas plugged into the computer, like what the deposition's made of, how long it goes in there, what the thickness is, and they basically aerosol the thing. And then it dries for a period of time and comes out. And then it's like, we have a lot of testing to do. What happens when I drop my car keys on it or, set it in the sun for 3 hours. But as far as play testing, we've done, like I said, like 2,000 plays. It's pretty tough stuff.
How much did that go for? How much did that go for at Christies?
Well, after my 10-day DJ stint, which was just so surreal. I mean, you can imagine.
Is it Christies?
Yeah, I'm at Christies, like in my little coat with my white gloves, and I got these like art people coming. And about midway through, our Christies rep, who was handling all the media that was coming through to shoot film and do interviews, the poor guy went down with COVID. I found out one morning, and I said, and so then it was just me in there, like trying to talk to the public and getting interviewed, which you see I'm not necessarily that comfortable with, but
You're doing it fine.
Anyway, so yeah, after 10 days of that, we, this thing was protected in ways you can't believe. 2 armed security guards in like a lock case. And whenever we transported, I had to travel with these guys in the black cab. We went to a hi-fi shop one night, and like my guy got out, and I handed him the disc, and I stepped out, and we were like walking in. We got pictures of us walking into this hi-fi shop, and so anyway, at the end of the 10 days of presentations, which got really busy because the BBC broke a story about day 3 or 4, and just hordes of like Dylan fans and music fans, and people were lined up in the hallway waiting to come and talk to me and listen to them, because I had a whole like $200,000 Macintosh setup with some really amazing headphones, and so I had to like play it for people over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so at the end of this, I handed it off to the security guys. They took it upstairs to the auction room, and I went and sat in the auction. I was like, what am I doing here? And 1.8 million American dollars it sold for.
Incredible.
Yeah. I mean, T-Bone's got a magic touch.
Paul
That's
just
all
said
I
that
can-
the other day. Everything he touches just
I know.
works.
Yeah.
He's brilliant.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Do you attest that to the marijuana that he likes to smoke?
I can't comment on that one way or the other. I have no knowledge of that situation. But if anyone knew him as I do, which a lot of people do, he has such a pure heart about what he's doing. It's always there's never his ego's not involved. It's not ever just about money or anything. He just like wants to make the best art he can make. That's really what drives him.
That's amazing.
100%. Yeah. So maybe that has something to do with why he's blessed so well.